Interceptor? I hardly even know her. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Xerath Prevails. Today, I want to talk about the order in which you should farm conquest characters, because we have a new currency that lets us farm conquest characters. Should you be farming Omicrons instead? We're going to be talking about all of that stuff, and I want to make sure that you understand, guys, this is not a guide for Proving Grounds. This is not me showing you how to do Proving Grounds. I have a video for that. I will link it in the video description. I hope that helps you. I will hopefully be updating that at some time in the future, but one way or another, I want to make sure that you understand this is the order in which you should farm these important conquest characters, not necessarily how to beat the Proving Grounds for them. So I do want to say a huge shout out to all of my patrons. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for all of the support. You guys are truly amazing. And folks, if you want to support this channel for free, all you're going to do is hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, comment. Guys, we're trying to go for 20,000 subs by the end of the year, and you can be a part of that. Please, your sub means more than ever. There's something. So does, I mean, go just like pretend like you need to look something up on your wife's phone somehow, just innocuously, so she doesn't get suspicious, and just quickly sub. She'll thank you later. So let's go, folks. Let's get into the game first. I think that's just what we're gonna be, where we're gonna live on this video, is the game, and it'll be, whoa, we're in the game. Wow, that's some shiny new stuff, guys. That currency is neat. Holy cow. Okay, so there's a cap of 10k of this stuff, so we gotta spend it. And the question is, what do we spend it on? And I'm not gonna show you the math, frankly. And you guys are just gonna have to trust me. I don't want to make a whole chart of it. Eventually, maybe I will, but one way or another, if you have all the conquest characters, it's easy. Only buy Omicrons. Omicrons are the only things that are worth, like, anything. They're worth way more. I mean, Chirotech are going to be tempting for some people, perhaps, but they're not necessarily what you should. I mean, Chirotech you can buy a ton of different places, frankly. You can get them at a ton of different places. Omicrons, extremely, extremely rare. Now, what if you don't have conquest characters? I think there's kind of a line that you can draw of like, okay, well, you can just stop with this. You don't actually have to farm the rest of these characters here. Like, you can just farm them in Proving Grounds or whatever, wait for them to become available elsewhere. Some of them you need to rush, and they are more important than Omicrons, which feels bad to say, but there it is, folks. So what do you do with this cool currency quest, these legend tokens? So I'm gonna show you guys the farming order that you guys should be working on them in. It's pretty cool. You can get a lot of these, a lot of stuff. So the list that I have is just going to be for the characters that are currently in the store. I also, a lot of people have been asking, should I refresh to get more of this currency? And the answer is, if you want Omicrons, then it's about the same price as what you would pay dollars-wise if you were like, okay, I'm gonna be all convoluted here and use my dollars to buy crystals and my crystals to buy Omicrons. The amount that you spend to refresh for the Omicrons and the crystals and everything is about the same amount as you would spend to just buy a pack in the store, with the added benefit, of course, that free to play, if they truly really want to be refreshing, they can actually participate in this instead of just being locked out because it costs dollars, right? So that's a nice benefit from all of this. Now, the thing that people are going to ask is how much value are the refreshes for non-Omicron things. And at the end of the day, it's 125 crystals per shard here. If you think that's worth it, then great. It's about the same value as if you wanted to buy like Han Solo shards randomly. He costs 120 crystals per shard. It's for the new like marquee characters that have just been released like a month previously and just made it into shipments. Then it costs about 80 per character, per shard. Like Drogon here costs 80 per shard. I mean, it's not a terrible price, folks. If you really want to rush these characters, it's not bad. It's not terrible. It's just, you know, it's about the same as if you were going to unlock Proving Grounds or something like that. It's all pretty comparable. And I mean, 150 per shard. If you want to rush these characters, honestly, I don't think that that's a terrible thing. Some of these characters are fairly urgent, and they haven't given us many ways to actually do that in a way that isn't just going to break your wallet. So let's actually go to my list here, guys. We've always got a list, right, of different characters that you should be farming first. So first, the first number one priority, guys, is going to be Malgus. And I mean, maybe won't surprise you that much. Malgus is fairly recently into the store and the Proving Grounds, and Darth Malgus is, I mean, he's really strong on the ground, but you could wait for that. He doesn't do something that's just like, oh my gosh, he's transcendent. I mean, he is very strong on the ground. There's no question about that. The thing is, he and his ship are the biggest blockers out there right now in order to get Leviathan. If you want to get Leviathan unlocked, that you can farm everything else, you can work on everything else, and you can't get Malgus or the Fury Interceptor. Now, the Fury Interceptor is not in this store, so I'm not trying to be misleading here, folks. I'm not trying to trick you. Fury Interceptor, not a thing right now in the Conquest store, or the whatever it's called store, the place that you spend these little purple gems and stuff. Not there. It'll be there probably soon, probably next. I don't know for sure. So keep your eyes open. But those two things, very important, obviously. And if you can't get them anywhere else, you can spend dollars on them. You can, I guess, farm them with gamble packs. That's a thing right now. And that's it, guys. That's what you have. Those are your options. So I would spend them on Malgus. And, I mean, once the Fury Interceptor is available, on that too. The other thing is, the Malgus Proving Grounds is ridiculously difficult to beat unless you have a really strong Galactic Legend of some sort. And so there's a lot of incentive, honestly, guys, to be working on your Malgus shards. That's the most urgent, because fleets are crazy important, and being able to counter them, crazy important. One way or another, having the new hotness or having something that counter the new hotness is essential if you want to be able to function in this game, especially because that's the way you get your crystal income, a huge amount of it at least. So keep working on that, guys. Then farm Eth Koth, the Suspense brothers, obviously. Now, this one is going to be a strange one because, okay, so I love me some Cat. Obviously, guys, she is transcendent. She's amazing. I usually just call Jedi Master Kenobi her lifter unit. It's kind of a buzzkill when you have Cat and then you farm Kenobi. You're like, hey, I unlocked her, or I unlocked him. And then Cat's like, okay, I'm just going with him forever. And I mean, it's like one of those friends of yours who just they're your best friend, and then they get married and you never see them again, and you're sure that they're still cool and all, but you just never get to see them. And that's basically what happens to Cat when you get Jedi Master Kenobi. Like, don't unlock Kenobi, guys. He is a buzzkill. He's like, nah, I'm not going out with your friends. That's lame, dude. So, no, you can't go out with them yourself. What are you, crazy? She is amazing, guys. She's so cool with Rey. She's so cool with Dash. She's really awesome with Padme. There's a ton of teams that really want to have her, and she just, she goes well with Commander Luke teams. The list just goes on, guys. Any light side team is probably better with her on it if you've kind of observed her various rules and everything. We're not going to get into how to use her right now or which team she goes on, but one way or another, she is very important. The thing about Cat is, so she's going to boost your roster a ton. Early game, mid game, late game, wherever you get her. She's going to be awesome. The thing is, she is also farmable right now, folks, in a different place. And Proving Grounds, yes. But then the other place that you can get her is right here in this little slot on the Razor Crest, where Razor Crest is. You can get her for GET3, which is something you should probably be doing as soon as you possibly can. Start farming her there. So maybe you don't need Cat as urgently, or maybe you just want to spend your GET3 there. You're going to have to make that decision on your own. I will say that in terms of just level of impact and urgency on your account, Cat is going to make an enormous difference, and you should prioritize her, which is why she's second on this list. Now, the Scythe, so sorry, we have ships, but I'm not going to switch back and forth between squads and fleets to show you guys this. It'll just confuse things. But the thing is, the Scythe is a very important ship, and it's used to counter Leviathan. In fact, it's used to counter Profundity as well, and it's really good. It's really strong. TIE Interceptor is also used in that same fleet, in that same place. The thing is, Scythe becomes more important because Scythe is a 330 shard unlock. You unlock it at 7 stars. You need all the shards to unlock it. TIE Interceptor unlocks halfway there at 145 shards, and you can just get those from Proving Grounds. And no, the Interceptor is not going to be as strong, of course not, but it is going to be doing the thing that you desperately need it to be doing, which is using its mechanics to unlock early TIE Defender deployment. And so TIE Interceptor is not as urgent to farm. Yes, you want to farm TIE Interceptor pretty early on as well, but in terms of level of priority, if you already have Cat, you already have Malgus and the Malgus ship the Fury Interceptor, then the Scythe is going to be more important because it just takes longer to get all of. In terms of how difficult that mission is and the TIE Interceptor mission, they're not difficult. In fact, they're fine. You're good to go. You don't even need a Galactic Legend for them. So, they're pretty good. Now, Maul is next, and so let's actually just look at the next two. So we have Robot Legs Maul, and we have Ben Solo, and the reason I have Maul listed here instead of Ben is so Maul can be farmed in the same place that Cat can be farmed, so he's farmable early on, and I'm guessing they're going to add more and more of these characters to that store as well. But Robot Legs Maul is more important than Ben for one simple reason. Well, first off, if you have one of these guys as Galactic Legend, then maybe that switches the priority level. Maybe you want Maul to go with Lord Vader, or maybe you have Rey unlocked and you're like, oh, I actually really want Ben. That's actually a pretty acceptable switcheroo, folks. But the thing about it is, at the end of the day, Maul is more important because he can run his own team and his own squad, and he goes with a lot of other teams better than Ben Solo does. If you unlock Maul and you don't have Lord Vader yet, Maul just goes and destroys things anyways. He can go with Mandalorians, he can go with Ufus, he can go with, he can just go, he can do a lot of cool stuff, I guess, is all I'm saying. There's a lot of options for Maul. For Ben, it's like, hey, what do you want to do, bud? He's like, I'm good. I mean, there's like nothing. I'll go hang out with Starkiller, see if he needs an UFU. That's basically it. Like he's got really limited options. He can do some cool stuff, but really, you unlock Ben, and you're like, I may as well not put Omicrons on him. May as well not do anything because he just sits there. And then when Rey is unlocked, he's like, you can hear like the angel chorus, and everyone just it's amazing. You can see like a halo sprout around his face, not dissimilar to this blue thing that's around his face, that's like keeping him contained. These like containment fields, I always feel bad for these characters. I don't actually feel bad for them. Anyways, okay, so now we get to the two characters that are like, well, your guild would maybe like you to have them, but they're not that important yet. So the priority level for Trench may change. Frankly, it may change because he may end up being a capital ship commander. And if that happens, then he probably gets moved up the priority list as a capital ship leader. That's amazing. He's an admiral, guys. He's an admiral, and where do generals keep their armies? In their sleeveys, obviously. And I don't know where Admiral Trench keeps his army, or his fleet for that matter, because he doesn't have one. He's like Lieutenant Dan's legs, guys. So, beyond that though, he's okay in GAC, and like he's like a cleanup level team. He's just not that great. And then he takes important characters with him. He's like, yeah, we'll just take Newt. We're just gonna take Watt. You don't need these guys, right? And we're like, nah, gonna do like Django. I'll go places. But in GAC or in Territory Wars, he does do some cool stuff. He is fairly strong in Territory Wars, one must admit, and it's just low priority otherwise, guys. And your guild is gonna forgive you if you're working on all these other ones up top. Your guild's like, yeah, we want you to have these ones first. These ones are way more important because they're going to help you unlock all kinds of important things. So Scion of Django, he has a proving grounds that's super easy. Trench isn't even in proving grounds yet. He's kind of in that weird limbo space. He is in the store that we have though, so that's why I included him. Now, Scion of Django, yeah, he does help you kill Lord Vader for sure. I mean, he's a good counter for Lord Vader in Territory Wars. You can farm him in proving grounds pretty easily. He's also non-urgent, guys. I mean, he's good for one counter in one game mode. I mean, probably good for a few other counters, if we're being honest. I don't want to just totally denigrate him. He's non-urgent. Compared to the rest of these, he is just non-urgent. And then, finally, Razor Crest is a very important ship. Very, very important, in fact. But you want to farm Razor Crest in ships, like with ships currency, fleet currency. That's going to be way more efficient for you. And then finally, guys, what's to come? We have Malicos, we have the Fury Interceptor, and then of course the new Dark Trooper guy, Gideon. He'll be unlocked soon enough, I suppose. So we'll eventually he will go into the store, all these ones, and we'll rank those when we get to them. But for right now, no idea where Malicos would be anyways. He kills a lot of stuff, but like, is it that urgent? It kind of falls into the similar category as Trench and Scion of Django, to be honest. But anyways, folks, that's the list. I would love to hear what your priority is. What do you think this should be, guys? What's the level of investment that you should go for? I mean, I also think, guys, probably the line that you want to just stop farming them probably goes somewhere around Ben Solo, and then I would just start farming Omicrons, frankly, and then just be patient for like a year and a half to farm Trench and Django. That's what I would do. I'd just farm Omicrons. Once you get Ben Solo, then you're good to go, guys. So that's it. We'd love to hear what you guys think. Thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Xerath prevails.